Hey everybody, this is day 2 on the FleXections experiment using GeneratePress Pro and the Sections add-on. Just want to quickly show you some of the changes that I've made. Primarily there are two things, which one is to do with nested content and the other one is to do with the order, particularly when you switch to mobile. So the first element is looking at section 4 here. We can see we've got some other type of content sitting inside that section. And this effectively is another nested Flexbox. And what I've placed in here is another wonderful plugin by Tom Osborne, which is the WP Show Posts. As we can see here, this is the Pro Edition. It comes with some very clever tools. Effectively what WP Show Posts does is it allows you to create lists of blog post pages, categories, custom post types, etc. All I've set up here is there's 4 posts with featured images, and I've created a simple gallery which again comes with that functionality of lightbox and gallery mode. So again, a very simple way of getting content in from the back end, because the client can just create posts, they can create pages, and then they can simply create a list and actually insert it as a shortcode. So a very, very simple way of getting more content in. And that was one of the first changes, was to make this happen, and how the normal one-semantic grid that controls WP Show Posts is sort of disabled and Flexbox takes control. Now on the second element is to do with the actual ordering and the responsiveness of the page. So just quickly switching over to a separate view, there's a couple of things I want to show you. Again, you can see our section 4 is now changing the fit of different views accordingly. But this section itself, when we look at the larger view, actually has no fixed minimum width. And so what happens is other columns can be forced in around it. So that's a very clever element, just literally just telling that section it has no set size, and it just flows accordingly. Now the second change with responsiveness is to do with mobile ordering. So now when we look at the mobile order, we can see that section 2 has been floated to the top of the stack, and so is section 7. So quickly you're going to flip over to the back end and show you how these changes have been made. So if we look at section 4, what we can see within the content is actually we just have this shortcode, WP Show Posts, which is added by this button. So again, no concerns for a client getting it wrong, and that sits in there and the rest of the CSS does the work. And the way WP Show Posts work is literally, if we just switch over and quickly look, as you create a list and you basically point it to the type of content you want, you can set the taxonomies, etc, etc. I mean, there's a whole different tutorial. The only real change is by setting the columns to 1, we sort of effectively disable the unsemantic grid, which then allows the Flexbox to actually work its magic. This particular post has literally just got images set up with the gallery, with the overlays and the lightbox set on, and most of the content, including the title and the excerpts, have all been switched off. But you can do some great things here. You can show the entire post. You know, again, I'm segueing because that's a whole different discussion. So quickly just shooting back to posts, pages, and looking back at the FleXections, we will also have a look at how we mobile order. Now, when we look at section 2, what we see is we have DB first, which effectively is the class that's been added to the CSS down here within the mobile responsive element. Actually just pushes that section to the very top of the page. Now any of these sections can have this class applied, and what happens, it forces all of those sections to the top, but remains with its the original stack order. So section 2 was preceded by section 7. So effectively, if we were to put DB first on section 1, it would always show at the top. But for a little bit of added functionality, there's also 2 other tiers below the top position, second and third. So you've got a hell of a lot of flexibility to reorder your content, and you don't have to worry about how many sections you've got added, because you only apply the change to the section that you want to move. So I'm hoping this update is getting somewhat closer to a final project, and actually a product that can be used, sort of maybe even in commercial development. But hopefully it's at the stage soon where I can get the code uploaded to the gist and actually update this video. So I hope you enjoy.